Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, how are you? Hey, I need to share the screen. You have to turn it on.
Yes, Maharaj. I have given you the rights, Maharaj.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, can you see it?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay. We're going through the modes, right? Lesson 1. We're on lesson 1. Right, we went over chapter 13. Oh, first of all, let me begin. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksur Unmilitanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vranchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasade Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So how many people do we have in this class?
Maharaj, we have usually 38, 35 plus, but I think devotees are still joining now.
Well, we're still coming from work, is it?
No, yeah, we can say this.
They're just finishing their supper.
Yes, Maharaj.
Your time is the same as our time, right?
No, we are like behind half hour of India. Like, yes, hour is 7:30 and at India it will be 8 p.m.
Oh, okay, half an hour difference, okay. All right, so yes, we won't wait for everyone, we're just going to begin. So, yesterday we went over chapter 13. And chapter 13 began with Arjuna's question. He wanted to know about the 6 things, right? He wanted to know about Prakriti and Parush. And he wanted to know about the Kshetra and the Kshetragna. And he wanted to know about Jnana and Gyeha. Knowledge and object of knowledge. The field of activities, the knower of the field. And Prakriti, material nature, and Purusha, the enjoyer. So, Lord Krishna described these things. We heard about the Kshetra, the field, the body. And then we heard about Kshetragna, the knower of the field. And there are 2 knowers of the field. There's the individual soul, and there's the super soul. The individual soul only knows about our own body. I know about my body, my field of activities. I know my pain and pleasures. You don't know. Because we're different, we're in different bodies. The individual soul is limited to the one body. But the Paramatma, the super soul, knows about everyone. He's in the heart of all living entities. And he knows about everyone's pain and pleasure. Who remembers what example did Prabhupada give to explain about the difference between the soul and the super soul? What was the analogy? Who remembers? Remember about the landlord? Yeah?
King
Krishna?
and farmer. Yes, Farmer and
Yes.
king.
What?
Farmer and king. Like farmer only knows about the field which he owns, but king knows about all the fields in his kingdom.
Right, yes. The king knows about his kingdom, and the farmer knows about his field, right? So that example was given to help us understand the difference between the soul and the super soul. They're both kshetragnas, but different. And then Krishna went on to describe about jnana, about knowledge. Right? What is knowledge? Who remembers what is the definition of knowledge? What should you know? Somebody's in knowledge, they should know three things.
The knower, the activities of the body, and the third thing I forgot. I think
They should know the soul, and the super soul, and the body.
okay.
That's knowledge. We should understand these three things. And then the process of knowledge was described. Do you remember? There were 20 different things which we should understand in the process of knowledge. What was the first ones? First two?
Humility.
Yes. Humility and
Pridelessness.
pridelessness. Yes, good. Amanitvam adamvidvam. Right? We should be humble and we should not be proud. Right? And then another one was we should have complete unalloyed devotion for the service of the Supreme Lord. Right? And there were many different items mentioned. Even things like cleanliness was also mentioned. Should keep everything very clean. Prabhupada was very particular about cleanliness. And he trained the devotees. Every day, everything had to be cleaned. Prabhupada's room, we would have the gadi in his room. We had a gadi, a white mattress covered with sheets. Every day we would change the sheets. Every day we'd wash and put clean sheets. Every day we'd clean the whole room, make sure the flowers were fresh, and put the clean sheets on the gadi. Prabhupada was very particular about cleanliness, and especially for the deities. He said two things are very important in worshipping the deity: punctuality and cleanliness. If you cannot be clean, then you should not expect to worship the deity. So we should understand these things. Cleanliness, it's one of the important principles of the Vaishnava. Right, we take bath. Brahmachari take bath once a day. Grihasthas take bath twice a day. And sannyasis take bath 3 times a day. Lord Chaitanya would take bath 3 times a day. In the sea, he would go to Puri. And when he was living at Puri, he would go to the sea, take his bath in the sea, in the salt water. But he would do it every day, religiously. I thought Prabhupada also he would take his bath, take massage and take his bath. He was very particular about our standard of behavior and keeping clean. Temple had to be spotlessly clean. The deity room had to be very clean. Sometimes we hear that the deity room, the deities look very beautiful But behind the altar, the pujari room, where all the clothes of the deities and the jewels are, is very dirty, very messy, and so many insects and cockroaches and things are there. Very bad. So we have to be very careful, keep everything nice and clean. Alright? So 8 to 12, there was 20 items, the process of knowledge. And then the object of knowledge. What was the object of knowledge? Who remembers? What's the object of knowledge?
Maharaj, they were senses, five senses, five this the subtle and gross elements, and
No, the object of knowledge was to know the soul and the super soul. Right? The material body, of course, is made up of 24 elements. The 24 elements, do you remember what they are? The 24 elements of the material body? Yes, what are they? Tell me some of them.
False ego.
Yes.
10 senses.
5 senses. 5 what senses?
Taste, sight, touch, hearing, and smell.
That is the sense objects. Those are the sense objects. Right? You have 5 sense objects. You have 5 elements. Right? The 5 gross elements. Earth, water, fire, air, ether.
Ether, yes.
Then you have the 5 knowledge acquiring senses. The Gyanendriyas. Right? What are the 5 knowledge senses?
eyes,
Yes.
ears,
Yes.
and
Nose, tongue, skin.
Yes, right. Good. 5 knowledge, Gyanendriyas. And then Karmendriyas, you have the 5 working senses.
Voice, legs, hands, anus and genitals.
Yes, very good. And 5 sense objects. Right? You said them. And then we have also the false ego, the unmanifested, and the mind. And what's the 24th one? I'm missing one.
Intelligence.
Okay, intelligence. All right. So 24 elements make up the material body, right? And then we heard about Prakriti and Purusha, material nature, and Purusha means the enjoyer. Purusha, it means the soul is the Purusha. So, the material nature is in union with the Purusha. You have the material body, and the Purusha thinks the Prakriti is for his enjoyment, but we're actually meant to use the Prakriti in the service of Lord Krishna. So then Jnana Chaksus, the end of the chapter, the vision of knowledge. Vision of knowledge. What is that vision? Who remembers? The vision of knowledge. You should see all living entities as
part and parcel of Krishna?
Yes, let me see here.
Hare Krishna Maharaj as a part and parcel of Krishna?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, the vision of the knowledge is one who sees the super soul equally present everywhere.
Yes, right. Yes, you should see the super soul everywhere. Those with the vision of eternity can see the imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, and beyond the modes of nature. Despite contact with the material body, the soul does not do anything, nor is entangled. Right? And then text 31 said, a sensible man ceases to see different identities due to different material bodies. He sees how beings are expanded everywhere. So that is the Brahman conception. And the soul, although it's in the body, it does not mix with the body. And that example is given, the example is given in text 33. It says, just like the sky does not mix with anything. Although the sky is all-pervading, it doesn't mix with anything. In the same way, the soul does not mix with the body, although it's in the body. And then another example is given in text 34. Just like the sun illuminates all this universe, so does the living entity, one within the body, illuminate the entire body by consciousness. So that is the eye of knowledge, to see how the soul is there, it's spread everywhere in the form of consciousness. One who can see with the eye of knowledge the difference between the body and the knower of the body, and can also understand the process of liberation from bondage in material nature, attains to the supreme goal. Right? So that was the 14th chapter. That was the 13th chapter, rather. Right? We want to go on. Wait. So we're going on to the 14th chapter. We're going to hear about the modes of nature. Remember, the 13th chapter, verse 22 said, there was a question, there was a verse, an important verse. Where's my...
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I have a question.
Yeah?
When we say like that Supreme Lord is equally present in all beings, okay? So how can this vision be practically developed in daily life, especially when we like naturally see the differences like good and bad? So how can we develop in daily life this?
Well, that is the mind thinking good and bad. The mind is thinking, this is good, this is bad. The mind is thinking, I like this, I don't like that. We have to transcend the mind. We cannot just be listening to the mind all the time. You listen to the mind will tell you all kinds of nonsense. So the mind is saying, yes, good. Mind is saying, oh, I like this. Mind is saying, I don't like that. We have to be guided by Sadhu, Shastra and Guru. Remember yesterday, Lord Krishna was quoting what the Sadhus and the Shastra was saying. Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He's the highest truth. But he was also quoting Shastra. So you don't listen to the mind. You don't just say, my opinion, I think this. No. That's the material platform. You have to come to the transcendental platform. Is it clear? Huh?
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you.
All right, we're going on to chapter 14. You can see the 3 sections here. Right? We have Krishna as the seed-giving father of all beings. And then we have conditioning, characteristics, action, and death in the modes from verse 5 to 18. And then the final section is about transcending the modes. It's a brief chapter, but it's a very important chapter. And we definitely want to understand it very carefully. All right? So, how did we get to the modes of nature? In the 13th chapter, text 22, it was described. Due to association with the modes of nature, we're performing different activities, good and bad. And here you can, I'm quoting from the first verse of the 14th chapter, the purport. Prabhupada has written, it has also been explained that it is due to association with the modes of nature that the living entity is entangled in this material world. Right? Prakrite gunakarmani gunaikarma sad asad yoni janmasu. Sad asad yoni janmasu. Right? The association with the modes of nature. So, now in this chapter, the personality of Godhead explains what these modes of nature are, how they act. There we go. How they act, how they bind, and how they give liberation. Then here's the verse from the 13th chapter, 13:22. Purusha prakriti stohi bhongte prakriti jan gunan. The living entity in matter enjoys the material nature, which is mixed with the material nature is the modes of nature. Right? So we enjoy according to how we associate. Karanam gunasangasya sad asad yoni janmasu. All right? By association, we meet with good and bad, birth after birth. We have to be very careful how we associate with the modes of nature. Here's another verse. Sadvam rajostama iti guna prakriti sambhavaha. Material nature consists of three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Right? We would often give the example, the three modes of nature are like three colors. Just like if you are an artist, maybe some of you are artists, you know how to paint nicely. So an artist, he can be given three colors. And from three colors, he can mix all the other colors. Right? What are the three primary colors? What colors do you need to begin with?
Right?
RGB.
Green, red, and
Red, green, blue.
blue. Yes.
RGB. Red, green, blue.
Red,
Red?
green, blue.
Green, blue.
No.
Red, green, and yellow.
Yes. Yes, right. Red, blue, and yellow. The green comes. Green is the combination of
When
yellow
blue and yellow mix, we make green.
yeah. So you get three colors, and you can. In the same way, we associate with the material nature. You get 84 like species of life. Nibadnati mahabaho dehi dehinam avyayam. When the eternal living entity comes in contact with nature, O mighty armed Arjuna, he becomes conditioned by these modes. Right? We're in contact with these modes regularly. One who lives in the countryside, he's more in the mode of goodness. One who lives in the city will be more in the mode of passion. And the one who lives in the bar or the brothel or the casino, he's in the mode of ignorance. All right? Of course, usually people say Rajagun and Tamagun. They regularly hear. We regularly hear Rajagun, Tamagun. Very rare we hear Sattvagun. And Shuddha Sattva we never hear. Never. But actually, the idea is to come to that level. Shuddha Sattva means transcendental. But the material world, people, ordinary people, common people, they're fully in the mode of Rajas and Tamas. They're very much entangled in the modes. And these modes are very difficult. Very difficult to get free of the modes. They're gunas, right? The word is guna, and guna means rope. So we are bound by these ropes. And the passion and ignorance bind very tightly. The guna, even sattva guna also, it's very difficult to transcend because we become attached to different things. Right? Material nature. This is Krishna's nature. What does Krishna say in the Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, about material nature? What is the verse?
Days of miseries.
No, he said, Devi Esha.
Gunamaya
Mama Maya
Maya
Duratya
Duratya.
Mam
Yeah.
Eva Vipadyati.
Yes. What's the translation?
Da Bhava Samanda.
What's the translation? Tell me the translation.
This divine material energy of mine is very difficult to overcome, but one who surrenders unto me can easily cross beyond it.
Yes, very difficult to overcome. Devi Hesha Gunamaya Mama Maya Duratyaya. Duratyaya, very difficult. Why? Because it's Mama Maya. Krishna says, my Maya. It's Krishna's energy. Very difficult to overcome. We want to get free of the material energy. We have to be very determined. We have to really want to get free. And we need help also, because we're bound up, we're entangled in these ropes. And how to get free? You need somebody who is free to come and cut the ropes, to let you out, let you free. We need help. We need association with devotees. All right, we get entangled in the modes. So here is the details of the chapter. Verses 5 to 10. How the modes condition us. How we become conditioned to the modes. What happens? In the mode of goodness, people are conditioned to what? What are people conditioned to in the mode of goodness? We're conditioned to happiness and knowledge. Yeah, they become conditioned to happiness and knowledge. That's the mode of goodness. What about the mode of passion? What are people conditioned to?
Desire and attachment.
Yeah, they work very hard. They're very ambitious. They want some things, material things. And what about the mode of ignorance? How are people conditioned there?
Suffering, misery.
They're lazy, they're dirty, they have no knowledge. Right? So then 11 to 13 describes the characteristics and the symptoms in each of the modes. Characteristics and symptoms. We'll go through these things. 14 to 15 destination at death. If we die in the mode of goodness, then where will you go?
Higher planets.
Higher planets, right. Maybe the planets of the great sages. What would be a death? What would be a death in the mode of goodness? Could you describe it to me? How would you imagine it? Give me an example. Death in the...
At the time of death, when we remember Krishna, it is the mode of goodness.
Well, if somebody remembers Krishna at the time of death, I think that's transcendental. It's more than the mode of goodness.
They will go to higher planets like Brahmalok, Maharaj.
Huh?
Like people will die in the mode of goodness. They will go into the higher planets like Brahmaloka.
Yes, but I want to know, give me an example of how you die in the mode of goodness.
Maharaj, whatever the last desire we have, then we get a similar body. It can be of an animal, like somebody is thinking of a non-vegetarian food. He gets a
But
body of an animal.
I want to hear, what does it mean to die in the mode of goodness? Give me an...
To get a body based on the desire that you have.
No.
The person should be pure, and as you mentioned, he should be in the more like knowledge. He should have that knowledge.
Well, I just wanted to hear some, what would be the actual situation. Maybe if somebody goes, like, a lot of, sometimes Hindu people they go to Varanasi and they will stay there in Varanasi until they leave the body. Some people go to Vrindavan and they will stay there in Vrindavan until they leave the body. You know, there's ashrams for elderly widows to go there to leave the body. They can stay there until they leave the body. Like that, death in the mode of good. Some people in the mode of death in the mode of goodness, they spend their time just maybe cultivate. They may get rid of all of their wealth before they die. They like to give it all away, maybe do charity and stuff like that. That's a good thing to do. You don't want, because at the time of death, you don't want to leave everything for the relatives to all fight over. It's nice you can do some charity and things. All right. So death, what about death in the mode of passion? That would be somebody working very hard and they have a heart attack. You know, they're working so hard and they have the heart attack because they're so attached to their money and to trying to make more money. And death in the mode of ignorance?
Because of laziness, they'll get disease, so they die. Like during sleep, or
Well, I think death in the mode of ignorance would be like somebody takes drugs and they die, overdose of drugs, or they're intoxicated and they drive a car and they smash the car and kill themselves. Like that. That would be death in the mode of ignorance. So people die in the mode of ignorance. They can go down to the lower species of life or to the hellish planets. People die in the mode of passion. They will come back to earth. And people die in the mode of goodness. They go up to the higher planets. Okay? Yes? You had a question?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranams. Maharaj, the one who die in mode of goodness, are they aware in their final moments?
Are they aware what?
Aware about their consciousness or aware about their spiritual thoughts?
Usually, yes. If they die conscious, if they're conscious when they leave the body, they can be conscious about these things.
Okay, thank you, Maharaj.
As devotees, we prefer to leave the body to be in consciousness, not to die unconscious, but to be in consciousness. All right? So, yeah, we were showing this summary of the chapter here. We want to look more at the chapter. We need to study the chapter. Let me see. Okay. Here we have the three modes. Right? The three modes of nature. Oh. All right, so the chapter begins like this. Lord Krishna is saying, I shall declare to you this supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which the sages attained the supreme perfection. All right, so this chapter is introducing the subject of the three modes of nature. And it's important for us to understand these modes. So Krishna is glorifying, he's beginning the chapter, glorifying the knowledge explained in this chapter. Verse 2 says, by being fixed in this knowledge, one can attain to the transcendental nature. Thus established, one is not born at the time of creation or disturbed at the time of dissolution. And then text 3 describes the total energy, the total material substance called Brahman. Right? Remember yesterday we heard about 3 different kinds of Brahman? Do you remember? What were the 3 kinds of Brahman?
Prakriti, Purusha and Jiva.
Who's the Purusha?
Oh, sorry, Super Soul. Yeah, Prakriti, Super Soul and the Jiva.
Okay.
I think I'm mistaking one Maharaj. No.
Okay, so here again it's mentioning about the Brahman. It said Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata. Right? And then text 4, Krishna is saying, because he said he's making possible the birth, he said, I impregnate the Brahman. So text 4, Krishna goes on and said, I am the seed-giving father. Right? Aham bija pradapita, Krishna said. All species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in the material nature, and I am the seed-giving father, says Lord Krishna. And so all species of life, we're all brothers and sisters. We should see all living entities as our brothers and sisters. We see our sister flower, our brother tree, like that. That Prabhupada was in this one monastery in Australia. There were some monks living there, missionaries, Christian missionaries, and they were telling Prabhupada about one saint of their mission. And they told Prabhupada how he would address the flowers like that, as sister, and the tree as brothers. And when Prabhupada heard that, Prabhupada said, oh, that is real God consciousness. Very nice. Real God consciousness, seeing all living entities as brothers and sisters. So based on that verse, Krishna is saying like that, he is the seed-giving father. All right? So now we're going to hear about how the living entity comes in contact with the material nature. So verse 5 describes the 3 modes. And when the eternal living entity comes in contact with these modes, he becomes conditioned by these modes. Right? The modes of nature, they cover us. So we're put into contact with the modes of nature, and our contact with the modes of nature is according to our qualification. According to our actions, we get the results of our actions. Right? You know the saying, Jaisa karega, aisa barega, right? Can you say that in Urdu?
Jaisa karoge, vaisa bharoge.
Yeah, very similar, right?
Yes, Maharaj.
Jaisi karni waisi bharni.
Oh, yeah.
Jaisi karni waisi bharni.
Okay. Similar, right? The idea is we get the results of our actions. Just like, you know, you have to, if you're taken to court by the police, then you get punished. And if you've done some crime, you get punished. So all of us here in the material world, we're all criminals. And we've all been put into different kinds of jail sentences here in the material world. Right? We're in the material world. This is a prison house. And we're all prisoners. And our prison uniform is the material body. So we have to understand the nature of the material world. Why did we get put into the material world? Because we misused our independence. We wanted to be independent of Krishna. We wanted to do things our way. We didn't want to surrender. So we were put into this place where, okay, you want to be independent, and then you come here in this material world. And in this material world, then you try to live your own independent existence and try to find some happiness. But of course, the happiness in the material world, it is very temporary. It is flickering happiness. It is not actual real happiness. The mind is thinking happiness, but the happiness it's very short. So we should not be illusioned by the material energy. But because we are illusioned, we come in contact with the material modes of nature. And according to our situation, we're given different bodies. Both subtle and gross body will be influenced by the modes of nature. So the next set of verses are going to describe the effects of the modes on the conditioned souls. Number 6 describes the mode of goodness. And it says, being purer than the others is illuminating, and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode become conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge. So we want to understand the danger of the mode of goodness. That while it's nice that it's purer, we do want to cultivate the mode of goodness, but at the same time we want to understand the danger of being in the mode of goodness. Right? The danger is we become attached to the knowledge and the happiness. We become attached and we think, oh yeah, I know more than these other people. I have knowledge. And we think, I'm happier than these other people. These other people are suffering, but I'm happy. And in this way, we become proud. And that pride comes before the fall, right? So we become a little proud, and then with that pride, we fall down from the mode of goodness. You go down to the mode of passion, then you may go down further from the mode of passion to the mode of ignorance. So we have to be careful in the mode of goodness. We do want to cultivate the mode of goodness, but we want to cultivate it with caution, with care. And don't become too attached, don't become proud, but keep a humble demeanor. So those are some things about the mode of goodness. And then the mode of passion, born of unlimited desires and longings. And because of this, the embodied living being is bound to material fruitive actions. So the mode of passion, particularly prominent in the relationships between the opposite sex. Man and woman come together. And when they come together, they have desires. And these desires can be very strong. And they lead to all kinds of activities. And of course, it's very difficult to keep oneself on the transcendental platform. Generally, of course, people are married. Men and women, get married and they live together. But we have to be very cautious and at the same time cultivate Krishna consciousness. And that will protect us from becoming entangled too much in the passion of the relationship with the opposite sex. The problem, as mentioned here, the mode of passion tends to degrade to ignorance. The mode of passion, people often, from lust comes anger. Dayato vishayam pumsa sangas teshu pajayate. Sangat sanjayate kama, kama krodo vijayate. While contemplating the objects of the senses, a person becomes attached to them. And from such attachment, lust develops. Then from lust comes anger. Then from anger comes delusion. And when one is deluded, then intelligence is lost and the person falls down again into the material pool. So, this is what you have to be very careful. From the mode of passion, we have to elevate ourselves to the mode of goodness. We should be very careful not to fall into the mode of ignorance. And then text number 8 describes the mode of ignorance. Delusion of all living entities, born of ignorance. Results of this mode are madness, indolence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul. So, the mode of ignorance, tamagun, is just the opposite of the mode of goodness. Then text 9 summarizes the 3 verses. The mode of goodness conditions one to happiness. Passion conditions one to fruitive action, and ignorance covers our knowledge and binds one to madness. Right? So those are nice summaries there. And then, how do the modes relate to each other? Because we're not just only one mode, we're a mixture of modes. Sometimes we're very good, sometimes we're very passionate, and sometimes we're very ignorant. So, how does it work? Well, sometimes the mode of goodness is prominent, and sometimes the mode of passion is prominent, sometimes the mode of ignorance. It depends. There's always competition for supremacy. Right? You wake up in the morning, you can be in the mode of passion. I'm late, I gotta rush. In the mode of passion, you rush, you get bathed and dressed and go off to work and drive your car or motorbike and passionate. Get to office and get into the office. Sometimes it can be more passion in the office. You may be lucky, it may be the mode of goodness. You don't know what kind of job you've got. Different environments are there. And then you come home at night, it can be the mode of ignorance. But it could also be, again, the mode of passion. We have to be very careful. Alright, then text 11 to 13 explain the effects of the 3 modes, how they're manifested. The mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. Right? How do you understand that? What does it mean the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge? Anyone? Anyone can explain?
Hare Krishna
Sense
Maharaj,
control.
that 9 gates we have. Maybe.
Okay. So, tell me one or two of the gates.
Uh, 2 nostrils opening, 2 ears.
Okay. Okay, so how are you going to illuminate these gates with knowledge?
Sense
Maharaj, it's
control
like
from Maharaj.
when we just hear the katha of the like Bhagavad or Bhagavad Gita from the right source, and we see
Right.
the darshan of the deity, and we taste the remnants of the food from that we offer to the god. This kind of like gates we can illuminate by knowledge.
Okay, good. Yeah.
And like our feet when we go to the temple, and our hands when we serve Krishna,
Okay,
like that.
very good. Like Maharaj Ambarish, right? Use all the senses in the service of Krishna. All right, and then text 13, text, what is it? 11, 12 describes the increase of the mode of passion, the great attachment, intense endeavor, uncontrollable desire and hankering. And when there's an increase in the mode of ignorance, inertia, madness, and illusion are manifested. And then death in the mode of goodness, and death in the mode of passion. And then take 16, pious activities. The results of pious activity is pure. It's said to be in the mode of goodness. But action done in the mode of passion results in misery. And action performed in the mode of ignorance results in foolishness. So we want to understand these things very carefully. From the mode of goodness, text 17 said, real knowledge develops. From the mode of passion, greed develops. And from the mode of ignorance, foolishness, madness, and illusion develop. Those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go to higher planets. The mode of passion, they live on earth, and those in the mode of ignorance go to the hellish worlds. And then text 19 describes the result of being able to understand all of these things properly. Then they can attain the supreme spiritual nature. We have to see that in all activities, no other performer is at work than those modes of nature. And he should know the Supreme Lord, who is transcendental to all those modes. In this way, he can attain the spiritual nature. And when we are able to transcend the modes, then we can become free of birth and death and their distresses, and we can enjoy nectar even in this life. Okay, and then next, you have text 21, you have Arjuna's question. Huh? Okay, what's going on? Is somebody trying to ask a question or something?
No, Maharaj. Maybe by mistake somebody just unmuted.
Maharaj, I want to ask a question.
Okay.
Yes, all
That
right.
like we have complete free will, or we are controlled by the three modes of material nature, or we can control the three modes of material nature by our will.
No, we cannot control the three modes of material nature. The three modes of material nature, that's Krishna's energy. Maya jakshena prakriti suyate sacharachana. This material nature is moving under my direction, O son of Kunti. We cannot control the material nature. But we can transcend.
Maharaj, we are controlled by this material mode of material nature.
If we are conditioned souls, yes.
Okay.
हरे कृष्णा सॉरी है तूने फोन किया था सॉरी मुझे मालूम नहीं पड़ा
Is it okay?
So Maharaj, we are conditioned souls and we are controlled by the three modes of material nature.
Yes. If we are conditioned souls, then you're under the control of the three modes of material nature. But if you're engaged in devotional service, then you're transcendental.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj.
If you're engaged in the service of the Lord, you're not under the control of the material nature. Bhagavad Gita said, Mahatmanas tumam parta daivim prakritim ashrita. Those great souls are under the protection of my divine energy. So Mahatmas, these are devotees. And those who are engaged in devotional service are all Mahatmas, they're great souls. And they're engaged in devotional service. They've taken shelter of the internal potency, Krishna's divine energy, by engaging in devotional service. But if we are simply doing ordinary material activities with no consciousness of Krishna, then we're in the modes of nature, and we'll be under the control of the three modes. We're never free, we're never independent. Conditioned souls are under the control of the three modes of nature. Liberated souls are also controlled, but they're controlled by the Lord's internal potency. All right?
Yes, Maharaj, thank you.
All right, now Arjuna's question, text 21. He wants to know which symptoms is one known who is transcendental to the modes. What are the symptoms and what is his behavior? How does he transcend the modes of nature? So 3 questions, right? He wants to know the symptoms, he wants to know about the person's behavior, and he wants to know how he transcends the modes of nature. So these things are going to be described before we finish the chapter. Right? Text 22 to 23, you can see it's a long verse there, describing the symptoms and then the behavior of the one who is a devotee. And then how he engages, how he transcends. Text 26, one who engages in full devotional service. Mam chayo vaya bicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunam samatitaikam brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of nature and comes to the level of Brahman. Comes to the level of Brahman. In this purport here, Bharijan Prabhu writes, he immediately reaches the Brahman platform, where the modes of material nature have no power over him. On that platform, which is fully spiritual and beyond the modes of nature, pure devotional service begins. So this is the answer to how to overcome the modes of nature. And then the last verse of the chapter, text 27, Lord Krishna, because he had mentioned about the Brahman, so one may think, well, oh, I thought we were devotees. Devotees, do we want to go to the Brahman? But we should understand what is the nature of that Brahman. Krishna says, Brahma Bhutta Prasanna, Brahmano hi pratistaham. Amrita Shyavayashacha. Krishna said, I am the basis of the Brahman. So coming to the level of Brahman by engaging in devotional service doesn't mean that you become an impersonalist, but we go on from the level of Brahman to practice devotional service, cultivating Krishna consciousness. And so that Brahman, Krishna says, he is the basis of the Brahman. It's related to Krishna. All right, so we want to go back. We just went through the chapter very quickly. We do want to look at some of the points. We want to understand, how are you influenced by the modes of nature? Right? We heard about the three modes of nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. So, I think it will be good. How many people do we have here today in the class tonight? How many are there?
34, Maharaj.
34.
Yes.
It's a 30, Maharaj.
So can we make some groups? Can we make some groups of people together and they can discuss together? We want to discuss about how are you influenced by the modes of nature? And what can you do to cultivate the mode of goodness?
Yes, Maharaj. So then, Maharaj, how much time would you want them to have?
I want 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any, Maharaj, like shloka?
Well, the whole chapter is there
14
describing.
the whole chapter. The whole chapter.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Maharaj. I'm sending. Break out 30, 6 5s are 30. I'm making 5 groups, 6 groups of 5 people each.
Okay. And we want to know in what way are you influenced by the modes of nature? Which modes are influencing you more? And what can you do to cultivate more the mode of goodness in your life?
Okay, is the question clear to everyone?
You can look at texts 11, 12, and 13, describing the effects of the three modes.
Okay, Maharaj, I'm opening the groups.
Thank you.
Fine. Damini, that's okay. Okay. Join in. Then Mehak, join in. Komal Mataji, Rohit, Ria, come on in. Rohit, Ria, Komal, Sunil.
Hare Krishna, yes प्रभु जी.
ज्वाइन कर लो ग्रुप गया हुआ है देखो
प्रभु मेरे पास
आया
रिक्वेस्ट
कुछ
नहीं आई वो नहीं
नहीं
आया
आई
नहीं
है
ऑप्शन नहीं आया ज्वाइन नहीं प्रभु
वेट लेट मी चेक दिखाई नहीं दे रहा मैं दिख गया God. सुनील बाबू जान कीजिए. Shimoli, would you like to be
I
part of this?
I was part of a group. I by mistake had to exit. I mean, I exit. Clicked
Okay,
on
okay,
the
okay.
exit.
I'm sending you again.
Yes.
Join in. रिया बाहर निकाल देता हूँ अपने आप ठीक हो जाएगा. रोहित.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
No?
my network is slow.
अच्छा
I get
अच्छा.
out of.
ट्राई करना
Please,
चाहते हो दोबारा?
yes.
एक सेकंड होल्ड करना. अभी करो, क्लिक करो. क्या रोहित? रो Yes, Maharaj, everybody is in.
Good, very good, thank you. Okay, so you got 10 minutes?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, we ready? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj Ji.
Everybody ready? We want one or two spokesmen in each group.
So, Maharaj, another 15 seconds. Everybody
Okay.
will be joining.
All right.
Yes, Maharaj, everybody's in.
Okay. So we want to have, I want to hear from the different groups. You have 5 groups, is it?
5 groups. Yes, Maharaj.
All right. So group 1, who's the spokesman?
Komal Kundani Mataji Maharaj.
Okay. We want to hear from her. We want to know what you talked about in your group.
Hare Krishna. Gender pranams.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, we act in mode of goodness by doing Krishna consciousness services like Hare Krishna.
Yes, you are audible.
We
Komal, go ahead.
we do Krishna consciousness as a mode of goodness, like we if we eat food in a restaurant or in a cafe, we think about it at that place. If we eat uh, prasadam, this is gonna be mode of goodness.
I don't understand this. If you eat prasadam, it's going to be the mood of goodness, even if you eat in a restaurant.
Instead of if we eat at any cafe or at any restaurant, if we eat prasadam instead of any cafe or any restaurant, if we think that this is gonna be on mode of goodness.
Well, I wonder about that. It depends. Is that cafe or restaurant, is it serving meat? Is it a vegetarian cafe? Are they serving non-veg also?
What she is saying is, I'm repeating for the sake of interest of time, that instead of eating in a restaurant, a cafe, if we eat prasadam, that is mode of goodness. So he's not saying
Well,
that we eat
if we eat prasadam, isn't that transcendental?
Yes, Maharaj, exactly.
Yeah, if you eat prasadam, we hope that's transcendental. You know, if it's real prasadam, if it's cooked by devotee and offered to Krishna, and then we take the prasadam, yeah. And to help us to also come to the transcendental platform, when we take prasadam, we also recite the prayer, which is well known, Sarira Vijajal, Bengali prayer. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given us a nice poem to say. By saying that prayer, when we take prasadam, it helps us to overcome material conditioning, helps us to come to the transcendental platform and to think more that we're honoring prasadam. So honoring prasadam, that's a spiritual activity.
We are
But I wanted to know how much you're influenced by the modes of nature. Which modes of nature do you feel are really influencing you, and when?
Sometimes we scroll Facebook, Instagram, Reels. We are just wasting our time.
Yes, this is a very common thing, isn't it? Everybody has a mobile phone, and they use the mobile phone to look at Instagram and to see the different things which are on there. Oh my goodness, how much time we waste every day.
We can are this time in the Krishna consciousness movement instead of scrolling reels, or uh, we hear or listen in katha at Facebook instead of scrolling reels. Or you gave the example of movie. We seeing the Sanyara movie instead of Narasimha movie.
Narasimha movie, yeah. Did you watch the Narasimha movie?
This will convert out of goodness.
Yes. Okay. So, yeah, certainly this is a very big factor in the modes of nature. With the development of the mobile network, there's the use and there's the abuse. We can use these things in the service of Krishna, and we can abuse them. You know, people often say, oh, I need a mobile phone, I need a mobile phone, I have to be able to go on internet, I have to be able to see Facebook and so on. So I need a modern phone, I need to have the mobile phone. And then you get the phone, and then what are they doing with it? Sometimes even devotees say, oh, I need it for my preaching, to keep in touch with devotees, and we'll have a group, and I'll give classes. But what are they doing with their mobile phone? Oh, they're watching the cricket match. Oh, they're watching some movie or something. Oh, we can really get influenced, get degraded with these things. We have to be very careful, right? So mobile phones are a very big danger, a very big threat to our Krishna consciousness. We have to be very cautious in using them and not get carried away. At the same time, we have to use technology. You know, we're not against technology. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagya Uchate. So we don't give up things which can be used in the service of Krishna. So real renunciation is to utilize everything in Krishna's service. So you have to see how much are you using for the service of Krishna and how much is for sense gratification. We have to be very careful. All right, so mobile phones are one thing. Another big problem with the modes of nature, food, taking food. Very important, right? Where you eat, and what you eat, and when you eat. All of these things are important. We're meant to eat, you know, you should have a good breakfast, and you should have a nice lunch, and you should eat very light in the evening. When I first became a devotee, Srila Prabhupada had told all the devotees, no grains after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Said didn't want us to take any rice or chapati or anything after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. He said that way, he said, you can eat something, it should be light, so that you can wake up in the morning. So that's one thing. And Ayurveda also teaches like that the power of digestion increases as the sun rises and decreases as the sun goes down. So it's often a problem for devotees to be a devotee if you're working or going to college or studying. It's not easy sometimes to get prasadam. You want to be careful about where you eat and what you eat and when you eat. All right, let's hear from another group. Group number 2. Who's the spokesman there?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
So Maharaj, we had written that sleep is definitely a problem for all of us. Waking up early and sleeping early is always a challenge. So we can use that uh, for the morning programs, and for that we have to sleep early. So that is one. And food also we had covered, and the music, we are generally carried away by the Bollywood, Hollywood, English music. So that can be actually, we can actually use the kirtans. We can actually listen to more kirtans instead of the rock band music, is what we have written.
So sleep, yeah, sleep is definitely an issue, problem. Of course, maybe you're married or you have a family like that, and so then it's not so easy to sleep early unless somehow you've got them trained like that. If you can train your children to sleep early and to wake up earlier. What time is the morning program there?
4:30. I mean, I'm
4:30.
I'm I'm from Delhi, so I
Oh,
don't know about Pakistan.
you're
Yes.
from Delhi. Okay. Yeah. So in Delhi, do you go for the morning program there?
Yes, sometimes I ensure at least weekly two times or maybe once we try to go.
In the week?
Yes.
What about, can you do it online? Can you watch online?
Yes, Prabhu.
You watch online, can watch Mongol Arti online?
Yes.
Do you do that?
So we have, I mean, with the girls that we have, we perform the online Mangal Aarti when we miss out on the
Going
offline
to
temple.
temple. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've written books instead of novels. We can read scriptures and friendships and any kind of a relationships that we generally maintain gives us a bad association uh, if they have bad habits. So friendships with devotees is one. Vacations instead of uh, a regular place that generally people go to, we can always go for the dham instruments and like instead of enjoying a DJ, we can always go for harmonium and kartal music coming out of that. And kirtan nights versus the DJ nights. Weddings is where they're more attending the Vedic weddings than the Bollywood where we are dancing and all of that. And perfumes versus itra because they're all alcoholic perfumes. Mobile phone usage for the lectures versus Instagram. Uh, Drugs and alcohol generally people get into for the high, but chanting actually gives the real high, so that we have added. And glorifying versus gossiping, glorifying Krishna, and abuse versus tolerance, uh, and dancing in clubs versus dancing in kirtan, gym versus cleaning in temple, and a lot of services in the temple also actually keep you fit. So we've added that. And writing about Krishna, that we write letters to the loved ones. We can also write it for Krishna, and we can write about Krishna. And yeah, that's all, Maharaj. Rest of them were covered by the group one as well.
Well, yeah, those are all things that would certainly bring you to the transcendental platform. You know, not everybody is so transcendental or can be so transcendental in their affairs. You know, we do want to have a little bit of leeway and think, you know, at least coming up to the mode of goodness. And then from the mode of goodness and going on to the mode of pure goodness. So your points were more about coming to the pure goodness. I'm particularly interested to understand about what we could do to come up to the mode of goodness and then move on from there to the mode of pure goodness.
Even the dressing, one point I missed was the clothing, the kind of outfits that we wear can be always like a Vaishnava dress
Uh-huh.
instead of
Well,
a general.
but it can also be the mode of goodness. You see, it doesn't have to be Vaishnava dress, but it could be the mode of goodness. Just like women wear long dresses rather than a mini skirt or something, you know,
Yes.
they wear long dresses.
Mhm.
These kind of things. And so that's the mode of goodness, you know, women they wear a dress which is more in the mode of goodness. It doesn't have to be the Vaishnava dress. People may think, oh, they're so religious, you know. Sometimes you have to be able to mix in with people. Maybe if you're working in a job and like that. So you want to be able to mix in. You don't want to appear too fanatical or too much religious. And sometimes people find that hard to tolerate. They think, oh, she's so religious or something. So we have to make use of the mode of goodness. So dressing sensibly, not sensually, but sensibly. That's important for us. Okay. What about group number 3? Can we have a spokesman from there?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
When we engage our nine gates in the mode of goodness, like if we do something good, if we help someone, and thinking that yeah, I am doing a right thing if I am helping someone, it is in mode of goodness. If we are uh, wearing a nice cloth and we are keeping ourselves clean, and if we are keeping our house clean, it is all in comes mode of goodness. But instead, if we are dirty, and if we are not taking bath regularly, and if we are not dressing properly, it is all come in the mode of ignorance. That's how the material three modes of nature influence us. Sometimes we work in mode of ignorance, sometimes we work in a mode of goodness.
So how are you doing in your home, in your life? Are you in the mode of goodness?
Maharaj is sometime in mode of goodness, sometime maybe in mode of passion, or a little bit in mode of ignorance. I'm
Right?
not
Yeah.
full.
Do you have a big wardrobe of clothes at home?
Not a big, but yeah, I can say medium. Not much small or much big.
Right? How many pairs of shoes do you have at home?
Maharaj, four.
Yeah, I know. I was in one lady's home, my gosh, I thought I was in a shoe shop, you know, there were so many shoes, you know. She had so many, so, you know, it gets like that, you know, I mean, especially ladies, because they're very particular about everything. The shoes have to match with the dress, And the bag has to go with the dress as well. So you have to have a bag and you have to have shoes, and it goes, each bag and shoes go with a particular dress. And you have many dresses, so you have a lot of bags and a lot of shoes, and and this one goes with that one, and so being a woman, it's a real challenge to cultivate the mode of goodness, I'm sure.
No, Maharaj, actually, I don't have such kind of interest in those things. Actually, I have some pair of shoes and some of the clothes, and I don't waste my time on thinking that which clothes or which bag gonna suit from this dress, or should I wear this dress or another dress. I don't waste time on these things.
But yeah, it's definitely a challenge. I mean, I understand. For men, it's a bit easier. Like men, especially as devotees, we shave our head. So we don't have a lot of hair to worry about. But women, they all have long hair, and then women also do things like make their faces, put makeup on and so on, and this is just accepted for everyone. So all of these things, it's all adding up, and it's difficult to keep oneself situated in the mode of goodness. Certainly it's a greater challenge for the women. Maybe men, of course, by nature, men, I don't know, we're maybe not as clean, and we're not so particular about things, than women. Some men are more in the mode of goodness. I mean, Brahmins are meant to cultivate the mode of goodness. Brahminical, we're meant to be in the mode of goodness. It's a challenge to cultivate the mode of goodness, especially when you're working in the city, or maybe a busy life and like that. So, cultivating the mode of goodness, right? Going in the traffic, maybe you have to go, you drive a car, or maybe to drive carefully, don't get too passionate. These kind of things. Okay, thank you very much, very good. Let me hear the next group. Where are we? Group number 4?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I want to say that we are continue influenced by our mind, through our mind, emotions, or sometimes habits. So sometimes we feel calmness, and sometimes we have constant desires, and sometimes very lazy, hopeless. So for me, especially when I say I'm very attached to my children, so if I don't want to get something for myself, but I want to my daughters dress up well, they should have more clothes, they should have the good mobile phones, so I want to cultivate this thing. And the mobile phone, we just scroll and see the reels and all these things. We can cultivate this to yukta vairagya, to in service of Krishna. And the taste of the tongue, so we are very habitual of eating so many things, whatever we have, we just take it from here and there and so on. So we should I should cultivate this thing to offer to Krishna, and then I should eat these things. And I will say the association, we have, if we have the bad association, or that is which is not connected to Krishna, and uh, so we should also cultivate this, we should give up that bad association in this. So these are my points.
Yeah, we should. There's a lot of things we should do, but it's not so easy to do them. I mean, we
It's
know
very
something.
difficult. Yes. As I say, for my daughters, I am very much concerned about them, that they should have everything, they should have every happiness. So, this is also the mode of. like nature.
Well, I don't know if your concern is quite right. I mean, you say they should have a good mobile phone. I don't know if that's so important, you know. I mean, for your daughters, you know. And some things you may think it's important can do them more harm than good to have sometimes these things, you know. We're thinking, oh, this is so, my daughter should have the best phone, she should, oh, my, you know. But these things sometimes are more harmful than good. We have to understand, there's, you know, everything they have a good side, they have a bad side also. You have to be very careful. Use things with caution.
Yes, Maharaj,
Definitely.
I just like say them to read Bhagavad Gita also, and like that, the good activities also.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely want to guide them. Do you arrange their prasadam? Do you give them prasadam every day?
Yes, Maharaj, not every day. I just eat myself.
Are they vegetarian?
No, Maharaj, they are not vegetarian, but I insist
Oh,
them. I just instructed them very much, but they are not like they are not listening me. So now they are like one of them is 21 and the second one is 15. So I just guide them, but they are not like.
you want to do so much for them, but they don't do anything for you. They cannot even be vegetarian. My goodness. Very unfortunate. Yeah. Yeah, it's difficult these days. Kali Yuga. Some people feel that, oh, it's too restrictive to be vegetarian. But if you'd brought them up from the beginning of life, you see, if you'd brought them up from the beginning of life to be vegetarian, then it would be more natural for them. But if they didn't have that upbringing in the beginning, then it's difficult to change them. These people get
I'm
a
trying,
taste.
Maharaj. I will try it. Like in my family, there's nobody vegetarian. I'm the only one who is vegetarian. So it is very difficult for me to like convince them. But I'm trying. I'm trying very hardly.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, if you're a good cook, then it can help a lot, you know. If you're a good cook, if you can cook nice vegetarian dishes, very attractive, it should look very nice, it should have a nice smell, it should be colorful and taste, it should, then it can really help a lot, you know. Unfortunately, we find often people are not very good cooks, are not very expert, but if you're really a good cook, then certainly it can help a lot to bring your family to eat more vegetarian food. You see, so we encourage people, you know, learn to cook very nicely, cook some nice dishes, tasty dishes. Unfortunately, nowadays, you know, people, they eat out a lot, you know, eat out, fast food, snacks and things. But actually the best food is to eat at home, to be with the family and eat with the family together. People together, eat together, and everyone can eat prasadam. So it's a problem, difficult. All right, we have one more group, is it? Prabhu?
Two more, Maharaj.
Two more groups, okay, let's hear from them.
Group number 5.
Hare Krishna Maharaj Ji, please accept my humble obeisances. So Maharaj Ji, we are like, as we talk about our group, our discussion, So we see that we are working so hard. We are in the mode of passion specifically. So we are working so hard all the day. We go to university, and after that we still continue to do that. Or we talk about our exams period. So we do all the day. We study for the sake of a good marks. So we are looking for a good result. Likewise, we are being more greedy. Like I study one more, or we will get more good marks. So yeah, we are being more greedy. We aren't satisfied with our, is like we say, 8 hours are enough to study, or 8 hours to do sleep and other activities. So we are doing more than our quota. We are giving more time. So we are being in that mode of passion. So if we want to elevate ourselves to mode of goodness, we can divide our hours of studies and hours of sadhana. So we can, we can't be more greedy. We just whatever we are doing, we just do that for the sake of Krishna. Like we are doing services and we are studying, so we can give charity from that. So we can do those activities in Krishna consciousness or in mode of goodness, specifically what I say.
Yeah, what you should do actually, you should study from the beginning of the course, often what happens is you wait until the exam and then you want to cram it before the exam. You do a lot of studying. You didn't do any studying earlier. But if you study from the beginning, if you go along and study from the beginning and do the work in the beginning of the course, then when the exam comes, it's not a problem because you've been working all year. So when the exam comes, you're ready for it and you can go through the exam without any real problem. So that's the mode of goodness, to be regular and regulated, because you're not regulated. So the mode of goodness means you should be regulated. You should be working regularly. Not that, well, when the exam comes in, I'll do some work. Yeah.
Yes, Maharaj,
Okay.
this is exactly thing we are experiencing. Like start of the course, we get that lightly. We have whole year. We can do that after that. So I ignoring that time. But Maharaj, I want to ask something. Like as we study right now, okay, we are in mode of goodness. So we will elevate ourselves in the mode of we are in mode of goodness. We will elevate ourselves to the higher planets. But when we are discussing about that Ambarish Maharaj example, so we are not in that mood of goodness. We are serving Krishna directly. So why we are going in that higher planet? Why not in Goloka Vrindavana?
Well, if you're really serving Krishna steadily, you will go to Goloka Vrindavan. But we should generally cultivate the mode of goodness. We want to be situated in the mode of goodness. And that way then we will go to Goloka Vrindavan. We won't just go to higher planets. But if there's no concept of Krishna there in our life, and we're just simply a pious person like that, you may be religious and you're pious and you're in the mode of goodness, and you can go to higher planets. But if you're a devotee, if you're actually doing service to Krishna, then you can go to Goloka. Goloka is for the devotees. It's for people who are devoted and who want to engage in Krishna's service. If you're not devotee, then you won't be very happy in Goloka. You won't know what to do. Not everyone likes to be in Goloka. Goloka is a village with a lot of cows. And Krishna goes out in the forest every day with the cows. Now, not everybody wants to do that, A lot of people, they're happier in Vaikuntha. But this is our conditioning, you see, because we're conditioned souls, we're thinking, oh, the real happiness is in the city. There's no happiness being with the cows. People don't want to be a cow. They don't want to be in the cowherd family and pick up the cow dung every day. They want to be in the multinational company and play in the computer all day. We're conditioned. You know, we're thinking what looks nice, what is good. We're not thinking what is actually really pure. Where is the real life? In the modern living, we're conditioned souls. We're thinking, oh, I have to have a car, I have to have a good mobile phone, I have to have a laptop, I have to, this, on. And these things, of course, they don't make us happy, they make us more conditioned, we get more entangled in the material energy. It makes it very difficult for us to get free. And that's why Bharat Maharaj became an animal. You see, Bharat Maharaj went off to the Ganduki. He was away up in the Himalayas at the Ganduki there in Nepal. He was up there, but he got attached. He'd given up his kingdom. He was a king. He had an empire, a palace and everything. He gave it all up. And he went to the Himalayas and he was there, but he got attached to a deer. So we get attached to things also. We get attached to material things. We should be attached to Krishna. That's where we should be attached, but we get attached to so many other things. So we have to change the quality of our attachment. We have to constantly monitor it. Right? Just like the mode of goodness, you don't want to be too much attached to being happy and to being in knowledge. We don't want to just be attached to these things. Yeah, we need knowledge and we want happiness, but we don't be attached to it. Don't be proud of it. Understand the real purpose is to become attached to Krishna. And our happiness is in serving Krishna. Whatever service we can do for Krishna. Okay, there's one more group.
Hare Krishna, Danot Pranams Maharaji.
Oh, Haribol.
Almost all things are covered, Maharaji, but still I would like to share a couple of things. Like
Yeah?
sometimes this is the serious problem with many of the devotees. Like sometimes we chant our mala in mode of passion. Sometimes we chant it like in mode of ignorance. Like we are chanting mala, but we are using phone with that. So this is how the nature influences. So we should overcome these things. And sometime we have many desires. And like is a man, when we go for out for the earn, when we start earning in lakhs, we desire for the crores. When we earn in crores, we desire for the billions. So th- we have to overcome, we have to shift our desires towards Krishna. So these are the couple of things I have to discuss.
Yes, very nice. Yeah, we have to chant with love, right? Prabhupada said we should chant like a child calling for the mother. So some love, some feeling of love should be there. It shouldn't just be some mechanical recitation. We do want to cultivate some feeling for Krishna. So we do have to be conscious of the modes of nature. Try to cultivate the mode of goodness. The mode of goodness, actually chanting, we want to cultivate pure goodness. If we just cultivate the mode of goodness, that is just to counteract sinful reactions. Or cultivate the mode of goodness, you're thinking about our own liberation. And that is not really the mode of devotion. But the devotee, they simply want to serve Krishna. They want to please Krishna. They want to develop love for Krishna. Mahaprabhu said, Prem Punarto Mahan. The goal of life is to develop love of Krishna. So somehow we want to try to develop that kind of mood. And yeah, it takes time. It's an ongoing process. We have to constantly remind ourselves, and we have to focus more on the quality of what we do, everything, the service which we do, the quality which we offer our service to Krishna. So particularly our chanting and our puja and our sadhana, it's all for the pleasure of Krishna. So yeah, an attachment, material desires, well, we have to have some desires, but if you're using it for Krishna, there's no problem. If you can make billions for Krishna, very good. We can use your billions to build temples. You know, we're not a very wealthy society. We don't have a lot of money, but you know, if we get some money, we use it for Krishna. Build a nice temple. And have nice festivals, and distribute nice prasadam. We don't mind. We're good at spending money. You know, if we get money, we can spend it all for Krishna. Prabhupada went to America with no money, but Krishna gave some money now and again, and he was able to do things. Different people, but sometimes they would buy a building for Prabhupada. Like in London, Bhaktivedanta Manor, George Harrison purchased. And then in Hawaii, Ambarish Prabhu gave us his house in Hawaii. And then also helped to purchase the Detroit temple. So like that, somehow we got some money. Use it for Krishna. We don't mind. Service to Krishna. So money, everything, if you use it for Krishna, it's not wrong. Okay, so there's some hands up there. Does that mean you have some questions? Yeah, who's our host?
Yes,
I see.
Yes,
So,
Maharaj, they are having question. Namni Mataji?
Hare Krishna Maharaj and pranams. I don't have question. I just want to add one point here. Like in the mode of passion, I am listening directly from Prabhupada's disciple. I know more. Why would I go to temple and listen that same lecture from the devotee who is just a devotee? Why would I go there? So just a mode of nature.
well, go to the temple, you concentrate more. When you're here at home, there's so many distractions. But you go to temple, it will be a bit more powerful because the atmosphere is more concentrated, more focused on the lecture. And just sitting at home, there's so many distractions there.
Yes.
So that's one reason.
Sorry. Mehak Mulal Mataji, you can ask.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I have a question that, like, considering my example, as I am a student, so how we balance studies without falling in the mode of the patient? And also I have a second question, that which qualities we develop in ourselves to become a good devotee or a pure devotee?
Well, I covered that already. I mentioned to the girl who was a student, I said that when you study the mode of goodness, you study regularly. You don't just cram at the end before the exam, but you're working consistently from the beginning of the course to the end, and you're prepared. You cover all the different assignments and tutorials and everything. You go to the lectures, you fulfill all the different requirements. And when the exam comes, you know, you're well prepared and you can cover the course. You can go through the course. So that's the mode of goodness. And then, what was your other question about? The second question?
Which qualities we develop in ourselves to become a good or a pure devotee?
Oh, to become a good devotee, good qualities? Well, the main quality is that you're surrendered to Krishna. Right? Pure and unalloyed devotion for Lord Krishna. That's the main quality. You want to regularly hear and chant. You want to also be careful about eating. Try to eat prasadam, food offered to Krishna, food cooked by devotees. You want to have a nice sadhana, I mean, sleeping early, waking up early, regularly chanting and hearing. These things, and we want to be careful not to cultivate too many strong material desires. Right? Pure devotional service is anyabilasita sunyam jnana karma janavritam. So desires for fruitive activities and for liberation, they should be nullified. They should be taken out. You don't want to have these kind of desires. You should simply have the desire, you want to serve Krishna, you want to love Krishna. Okay? Right? Was there one more hand?
Haripriya? Haripriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Maharaji. Maharaji, in text 19, I'm unable to understand what Prabhupada want to say in this very translation. Can you please brief a little about that? When one properly sees that in all activities no other performer is at work than these mode of nature, and he knows the Supreme Lord. Text 19.
When one properly sees in all activities no other performer is at work than these modes of nature, and he knows the Supreme Lord. So, we have to understand that the modes of nature are actually doing everything. It's the modes of nature which are the doer. So in all activities, we often think, I'm the doer, I did it. I did it. But actually what happened, it was just simply through the modes of nature. So somebody does something, somebody makes a lot of money, somebody loses a lot of money. You could say it's their karma, and it's also due to the modes of nature, that they're associating with different modes of nature, and they get the results according to the association of the modes of nature. You associate with the mode of goodness, it leads to happiness and knowledge. You associate with the mode of passion, you have a lot of desires. You're never satisfied, you always want more. And if you're in the mode of ignorance, then the desires are just for gross sinful sense gratification, and madness and illusion. So like this, you have to understand that the modes of nature are behind everything in the material world. You can see the influence. You look at the traffic, you can see the modes of nature. You look at people, how they dress, you can see the modes of nature. You look at the food in the restaurants and on the table, you see the modes of nature. All right? And it's also said, and he knows the Supreme Lord, who is transcendental to all these modes. So, not only does he understand the modes of nature, but he understands there's a person controlling the modes of nature, who's above the modes of nature. And that there's one Supreme Lord. There's a Supreme Being over everything. And he is transcendental to all these modes, and the material nature is actually under his direction. All right? Can you understand?
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Yeah, there's another verse in the Bhagavad Gita. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha ahankara itiyanne bina prakritera. The bewildered spirit soul, under the influence of the material nature, thinks himself to be the doer of activities which are carried out by the modes of nature. Okay? So we have to see the modes of nature working, and how the Lord is also there. All right, any other questions before we stop here this evening?
No, Maharaj.
All right, so we'll see you tomorrow night. We'll be back tomorrow night. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Narasimha Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank
Maharaj.
you
Hare
so much.
Krishna. Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Jai.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.